Hi everyone, it's Vanessa from the Confident Women's Collective. How are we today? I just wanted to talk today about change and what we can do. What I find is a lot of the people that I work with, I notice a difference between the ones that kind of are willing to do the work and the ones that don't. And the thing is, often people will say, oh, it's so hard. And my answer to that is, compared to what? Like, what are you comparing the hard to? Because if we actually want things to be different in our lives, we have to do different. That's how it works. So if you don't like the job you're in, then you've got to do something different in it. Either change positions, leave, go find a new job, or change how you think or feel about your job. If you don't like your relationship or you're having trouble within your relationship, then what can you do differently? What can you change, whether it's to do with yourself or an action or a behavior, or leave? What I find is most people kind of stay in it and then they go, it's so hard to change it. And it's really not. You know, a lot of the things that a lot of the women that I work with, it's mostly about their thought patterns and their self-worth and their self-esteem. And there's so many of us out there who, you know, we do have such low self-worth and so low self-esteem, and we don't feel good about ourselves. We don't talk nicely to ourselves. But we can turn that around. A thought is just a habit. It's just a habit of thinking. And if we can get back in charge and we can learn the tools to change that thought around so it works better for us, not against us, and look at our belief systems. You know, what is it that we actually believe about ourselves? Do we believe we're not lovable? Do we believe we don't deserve? You know, do we believe that people are going to leave us? And so therefore we will self-sabotage and push people away? Or do we believe that, you know, we're not pretty enough, we believe we're too fat, we're too thin, what is it that we're actually saying to ourselves? And we can turn all that around. What we think and how we feel will determine how we behave. So what are you thinking and how are you feeling? And how's that playing out? You know, I hear, you know, like I said, I hear so often, it's so hard. It's not hard, it's work, because you have to pay attention. You know, you can't just take a pill and hope it will all get better. You know, that's not how life works. We actually have to do some work in it. And so if we want to be looking at our thought patterns and we want to change that negative self-talk to being a little bit more uplifting, a little bit more rewarding, a little bit nicer and kinder to ourselves, and we have to be paying attention. We have to be looking at it. What are we saying to ourselves? Why do I believe that about myself? You know, I know for me, for years, I didn't think I was, though just had a little bit of an internet gap then, you know, I didn't believe that I was good enough for anybody or anything. And so I tolerated behaviors that I would not have tolerated. I talked really poorly to myself about myself. I would even talk poorly about myself to other people. Hey Naomi, how you going, darling? And so, you know, we kind of want to look at, if we're thinking negatively and we have negative self-talks and we're talking down about ourselves, that's not gonna long term create a life that we desire. What it's actually going to do is make us feel pretty crappy in it. You know, we can love our families, but it doesn't mean we feel good about ourselves. It doesn't mean that we're happy within us. And that's kind of, you know, that's what I want to sort of show. If we can change the thinking patterns that are behind those feelings and those thoughts to actually make us feel better about ourselves, to help us improve our relationship with ourselves, then overall what happens is we become better with everybody else. But it's work to do that. And if you're willing to do the work, I can guarantee you the change will be phenomenal. And you will end up with a really epic life. But if you're not willing to do the work, then don't get upset when things don't change. And that's what I hear a lot from some of my clients is, well, it's too hard. I don't want to do the work, but I want things to change. And it's like, well, nothing's going to change. So either just accept where you are and accept what is and be okay with that, or do some work. And that's kind of what I want to share is, you know, if you really have had enough of the negative self-talk and you want to get back in charge, you want to get in charge of your emotions, you want to feel better about yourself and your life, you want to feel more fulfilled and more joyous and content and confident and happy, then comment yes below and let's have a chat, or jump in my group. I'll post the link. I'm running a 5-day free challenge next week about how we can get rid of this negative self-talk for good, and the process we can do to help rebuild our lives to be better, happier, more fulfilled and more joyous, which means we're better role models for our families, we're better, we're better friends, we're better partners, we're better workers, business owners. We learn to let go of things. We don't need to be reactive. We can learn how to respond better. There's so many benefits when we get back in charge and we take ownership and do the work. So if you're willing to do the work, as I said, jump in. Let's get rocking next week. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day.